But what's interesting about it is that they're learning a lot more about the ground, about what goes on the street from their customers, because who their customers are, how they behave, what their needs are all part of the intelligence system. And then I'm skipping over lots of things that go on for innovation, but these partnerships are very, very important because in some cases, companies are able to do things because of the NGO world that once was those who were beating up on them, are now invited into the boardroom to actually carry out something that was an important part of the company strategy that allows it to operationalize an innovation and have it do good for the world. And the best example there probably of many is Procter & Gamble's Children's Safe Drinking Water, which was a failed commercial product to purify drinking water in developing countries that they could sell inexpensively. And by the way, I will say that you often, before there's a market, there is society. And if people in society aren't yet habituated to certain kinds of things, there is no market. So P&G had this incredible water purification power they could sell inexpensively and affordably in small sachets, and many people in the countries were not used to daily habits. So in some cases, they would hoard this wonderful thing to get safe drinking water for a special occasion. You know, like only your guests deserve clean water. I mean, they weren't yet in the habit like of soap and toothpaste every day. So they didn't have a commercial product, but they kept it alive in part because of their values, and now they're going to continue, you watch in the future, innovate off of it through setting up a nonprofit themselves in partnership with lots of NGOs. And those people, again, are the ones who are close to the community, who are starting to educate the community. So they're the innovators for P&G in market development. And, you know, P&G is doing this out of very good motives. They didn't kill it off, which they could have done. They kept it alive through a nonprofit, but they're also getting an incredible amount of knowledge, and this is considered core to their business strategy to understand these countries and how to work in them. And then when we get to actually having an idea that is in the form of a product, what all companies that innovate a great deal do well is rapid prototyping. They keep testing it and refining it. They don't just inflict it on the world as a full-fledged program. So here's where John's jazz expertise has stood him in good stead. The idea of jamming and improvisation and trying it and testing it and seeing how it works and refining it and doing it again, they do a lot of that. And to do that, that means that engineers, scientists, product developers all have to be out where people live. So if you're doing something that's going to be for schools, you actually put them in a little janitor's closet in the schools to see how teachers are using it, for example. It's a much closer connection between the people who develop the ideas and the people who are using them. And closing that loop is very important for innovation. And the last thing I'll say, because I'm trying to squeeze in a lot and we only have a little bit of time, is that these companies also, I think, do a great job of product sampling, because if you're going to do rapid prototyping and you're going to do new things that the world doesn't yet know are important for them, you have to give them a little taste of it. I mean, just like all of you who are from the US, I know we're from 40 countries, but from the US who know that if you go to Costco at noontime, you can have a full lunch just on the product samples. So product sampling has been well known, but if you've got a purpose and a larger innovation agenda, the important thing in all the companies I studied for Supercorp and why they're super and not just ordinary corp is that they think very big. They have really big aspirations, like John talked about, big public innovation. IBM's Smarter Planet. You know, that sounds like a wonderful world-changing thing, and it is going to be. Smarter Cities is another subset of Smarter Planet, but it is also very smart business strategy. But if you're going to have big ideas, then you have to have people that can sample what you do in some form. And to some extent, certain CSR initiatives are becoming a large-scale product sampling. And my best example there is IBM's World Community Grid. When IBM, and I don't know how many of you know this, but you too could go on worldcommunitygrid.org and donate the time you could get a little agent for your computer and donate the time that your computer is on but not processing anything and contribute to the world's largest scientific projects. Well, that's product sampling, because IBM had a breakthrough in grid computing that ties together all this unrelated computers in a network, aggregates to the power of a supercomputer, and they knew that they've got commercial opportunities with banks and retailers who have to crunch a lot of data, but nobody's ever seen what this is really before and could do. And so coming out of Stan Litow's shop, he's very creative. He's an innovator for IBM. He said, let's give it away first to a nonprofit we'll set up, get all our business partners to join us in this. Our employees can also do it, and we will show what this can do by giving away this computing power to some of the world's largest scientific projects that are looking for cures for AIDS or mapping rivers to improve so that we can actually see what's happening to water and water supply. This is so imaginative, and it's really another form of product sampling. It's having a big idea and creating a partnership and a not-for-profit organization that now gets all the win-wins. So the reason these companies get a lot of innovation is they have highly motivated employees who think that their job is two things. It's do my job, change the world, and that they have opportunities within the company to do it. So it's good for employee motivation. It's good for customer relations, because when you're going out to sell a customer, a lot more exciting to say, join us on World Community Grid than give us your money. So this really solidifies relationships. They get reach to many more organizations. NGOs are involved in it, and it's doing good for the world. So that's what they do well. They motivate innovation through their sense of purpose, and they execute it through a culture in which everybody's involved in every function.